Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am Beyond Taylor, and I am here to help you go beyond your self-imposed limitations. So before I start the video, I just want to say thank you, and hi and welcome to all my new friends. I noticed that I am now at 2,000 subscribers, and I was just at 1,000 like a week and a half ago, not that long ago. So I just want to say thank you to everybody new that is here, and please continue to comment on the videos because I try to respond to every single comment. If not right away, I will eventually get to it, but I do try to respond to every single comment. I see every single comment. So thank you guys for being here. And yeah, let's just get right into the video because I'm excited for today's topic. I'm like pumped up on caffeine. So if I'm a little pumped up, that's why. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how to actually stay in the state of the wish fulfilled. And I want to start off with this quote by Neville. He says, "You must occupy the new state consciously. You must become so familiar with it that it becomes natural to you. And you must persist in the new state until it becomes your dwelling place." Basically, he's saying that we must dwell in this new state. And that's what this video is going to be talking about, because I don't want to tell you how to get in the state. You're always changing states. Every single second you're changing state based on what you are choosing to identify as. But are you staying in that state? Are you dwelling in that state? Because where you dwell in, that's going to be the experience that you're going to have. Not just like think about it for a little bit at a time and then expect everything to unfold. You have to stay in that state, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. I see a lot of confusing content on here about what the state actually means, to be in the state of the wish fulfilled, or to just be in the state that's aligned with your desire, that's aligned with your manifestation. And I see a lot of confusing content about this online, especially because they relate it to feelings, right? They'll say, oh, you know, you're in a state based on how you feel, and I'm gonna call cap on that. Big cap, big cap. I wish I had a cap. So I'm gonna call cap on that, because that's not true. If you're in the state of wealth, you're going to experience positive and negative emotions. If you're in a state of poverty, you're going to experience positive and negative emotions. It has nothing to do with the actual state, your feelings. It's just about the beliefs that you hold. That's it. That's all. And you can have positive beliefs and still not feel positive, because you are in a state right now and you don't always feel one way, right? Your beliefs are, your feelings are on a spectrum. Your feelings have nothing to do with whether or not you are in the state of your desire. So that's why, you have false positivity and people saying you should feel good all the time, and being in the state, feeling good becomes the byproduct of that. So I'm not saying that feeling good is not a indicator of whether or not you're in the state, but it's not the only indicator, and it should not deter you if you don't feel good to say, well, I'm not in the state because I don't feel good. That's that's just not the case, because people who are in the state of wealth, they have bad days. They don't always feel positive. It has nothing to do with that. It's just about accepting that what you desire is done and it's yours. That's it. So if somebody's in a state of wealth, they have beliefs that are set up, that has accepted that they are in a state of wealth, and that is theirs. That's it. That's all. It has nothing to do with the feeling. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what the state actually is. Like, what is the state of your wish fulfilled? What is the state of your desire? What is the state of your manifestation? I'm also going to be talking about what's preventing you from getting there, because it's actually a lot of things, but I'm going to talk about two main points. No, actually, it's not even a lot of things. It's like really two main points, and then there are subcategories of those two main points that's preventing you from getting there. And then last but not least, we are going to be talking about how you can stay, how to actually stay in the state of your wish fulfilled. So keep watching the video. I'm going to break this down as best as I can. Y'all know I do's my best. And yeah, let's not waste any more time. What is a state? So, according to Neville Goddard, a state is an attitude of mind, a state of experience with a body of beliefs which you live by. That's all a state is. And we are constantly expressing a state, and we are constantly going in and out of states based on your beliefs. The state is just, like Neville was saying, an attitude of mind. So if you have an attitude of mind of success, then you are in the state of success. And I think that we are always going in and out of states. It's not a matter of getting into the state, because as soon as you express the attitude of mind of being in a state, you're there. It's just about being able to maintain the state and stay in the state. So don't make getting into the state the super complicated process. As soon as you claim you're in the state, you're in the state. When you claim that you are in a loving relationship with your significant other, your SP, because I know that's really popular in the manifestation community, you're in the state. When you claim that you have the successful business, you have all the wealth, that more wealth than you could ever spend, you're in the state. It's just about maintaining the state. And the reason why most people cannot maintain the state is because they can't see it, right? They are walking by sight and not by faith. And in the Bible, it tells us to walk by faith and not by sight, because reality needs time to catch up. We are constantly oscillating between different realities, and we don't see that because it seems that reality is one seamless event. It seems that it's just happening very seamlessly, like event after event after event. And that's because of the way that our mind is perceiving each now moment, and based on what we are identifying as, it's making the now moment appear that it's happening in time and space. But that's not the way that it's actually happening. It's just one eternal moment where there is no past, or that's what people say, there's no past or there's no future, but thinking makes it so. The only reason why I think there's a past is because I think there's a past. But if I go directly to my experience, like not go to any knowledge, not go to any thoughts, but just identify directly with my experience, I notice that there's always just the eternal moment. And that's the way it is. And that's why we are able to shift timelines, shift to other universes, because their time only exists within a mind. So when we set our attitude of mind up to be in correspondence, or to be in relation to the reality that we want to experience, we're not necessarily waiting for reality to catch up, because reality is always now, right now. We're just waiting for our glasses to become shaded enough, I would say, yeah, because everything that we see is like shaded by the past, and then we're putting the past on the present moment. So we're waiting for our glasses to become shaded enough to reflect this new truth to us. And I know I said in one of my last videos that reality is the past, so what we're seeing is the past. While that is the case, that the past doesn't actually exist. It's always the now moment. In very simple terms, we're waiting to be in the state long enough for our vision to focus in on the truth of the state. We're already conditioned with how reality works based on our genetic code, because nature and nurture, they both go hand in hand. So based on our genetic code, we already have these assumptions about how reality works. And then also on top of that, we have the conditioning of the way that society and our loving, well-meaning caregivers have conditioned us to see reality. So that's always influencing the way that the projection is coming to us, which is why we are all living in our own separate worlds. I'm so sorry, I keep hitting the mic. But it seems as if, there's one world, 8 billion people, but really there's 8 billion worlds. And we don't, and again, it may seem as if like there's things that correspond and we have similarities within our world, but you are living in your own world. I'm living in my own world. And the way that our world is being projected to us has a lot to do with our beliefs and our genetic makeup, but that is not the final code. So when you talk about being in a state, it's just about what are you identifying as. If you are identifying as your conditioning and your genetic code and the information that is feeding you, then you're going to view reality that way, because reality is nothing but a mirror. But if you start to identify as what you actually are, which is just the awareness of your experience, then that will start to be that will get reflected back to you. But you have to be in that state long enough for your vision to course correct. Most people, they have a hard time staying in that state because of how reactive they are to the stimuli of the environment, because you already have this conditioning about how reality works. So then you see reality in that way, and because you don't have enough safety in your reality, I talked about that in my last video, because you don't feel safe enough in this new reality, you are most likely going to go back to the state that's going to be in alignment with your old beliefs. And if you want to get out of that state, then it's just about being safe. And again, I have a whole video about that. We're not going to be talking about that. I mean, a bit, because I'm going to tell you how to maintain the state of your desire, of your manifestation, of the wish fulfilled. And it has a lot to do with safety, but more importantly has to do with knowing thyself. So That's part one. That's what a state is. A state is just a set of beliefs and attitude of mind. You cannot be in two places at once. You cannot be in Arizona and in Texas. You can only be in one state. So you want to make sure that you are in a state that's in alignment with your reality, and you can do that. All you got to do is just accept really quick that if I ask, it is given. If I knock, the door is open. If I seek, I will find. That's it. That's all. And then have faith that is true. Let it go. Let it go. And then that will be revealed to you if you just keep going back to that and not reverting to what's conditional for you. Because a lot of us are sleepwalking, and I include myself in that because I'm also sleepwalking through this reality because I'm also set up with a whole bunch of like conditionings about how reality works. But it's about rising above that by recognizing the truth of who I am. And I'm going to talk about how to do that in this video. So keep watching, keep watching. Okay. So part two, we're going to talk about what's preventing you from being in a state. And I think it comes down to two main things. One, you are way too reactive to your circumstances. And two, you have your manifestation, your desire on a pedestal. So that's what's preventing you from being in a state. And to talk about one, which is being very reactive, it's not your fault. So give yourself grace because, again, you have conditioning that's shading in how you're seeing reality. You're putting on a screen of awareness this projection of reality that's based on your conditioning. So when you react, it's just conditioning. It's not from your true nature. And because, again, you are walking by sight and not by faith, it's causing you to become angry with yourself, with God, which is just you, but you're becoming angry because you're like, why isn't this working? And because you're saying, why isn't this working, you're going into the state of nothing is working out for me. Like this stuff doesn't work, blah, blah. And then of course, that's your assumption is what's going to create your reality. So if you assume that, this stuff doesn't work, it's not working out for you, then the universe is like, yes, you're right. Let me give you more of reasons why to validate why this isn't working out for you. Because we are all very biased. So we are always going to look for evidence to support our beliefs. So if you have a belief that this is all woo-woo, it doesn't make any sense, and like everybody is lying to you, then your belief, your brain, your conscious mind is going to look for evidence to support those beliefs. But if you have a belief that this works out for you, that you don't need to feel good to be in the state, that just to know you're in the state is enough, then your brain is going to look for evidence to support those beliefs, which means that you don't always have to feel positive. You don't always have to feel, excited or thrilled or enthusiastic about what's to come. You can have days where, you just aren't feeling good. Does not mean you're not in a state, because I'm pretty sure there's, you have already manifested so many amazing things consciously, because we're always manifesting, but you've already consciously manifested so many amazing things into your life, and you saw that you weren't always happy, but it didn't mean the manifestation went away. And if it did, that's because you have a belief set up that, like, as soon as I don't feel good, that means that, good things leave my life. When it's just important to let go of that belief. It's just about having that faith and having that trust that it's going to work out. You know that it's going to work out. You've already had evidence that it's worked out time and time again. Don't allow your circumstances to prevent you from waiting until it gets really, really good. It's already really, really good. And that's the best way to not react to circumstances, is to recognize that you already have access to the feelings that you think your desire is going to bring you anyway. So that's why it's important to first seek the kingdom of heaven, and all things will be added onto you. It's important first to feel, and not feel good, but to feel at peace, to feel abundant, to feel the truth of all that you are, because that's the highest vibration you can vibrate at, is to be in like enlightenment. And to be enlightened is just to know the truth, to know that you are everything, to know that you are I am, to know that everything is saying I am, and that I am is the same I am. It's not different, but whatever is said after I am becomes the form of I am. But that's just a limited aspect of the truth. So when you know the truth, you are now enlightened. That's all it means to be enlightened, just be enlightened to the truth. So now that you are spending more time resting there and identifying as that, your reality has no choice but to reflect that back to you, and you become less reactive to your circumstances, because you know that the circumstances are just a small aspect of all that you are, and you are just the witness, and you are just watching it all come and go. So you are allowing anything to come up in your loving awareness, because you are just loving awareness. So everything has the opportunity to come and go. And that's where a lot of people have a lot of fear, is that when they're past conditionings are still manifesting because they haven't been in the new state long enough, they revert back because they're like, oh my God, this isn't working, or this is too scary, or this doesn't feel good to me. So then because of that, they just go back to what they know. And I'm telling you that you are so much more than the limited aspect of your body and your mind. You are loving awareness. Loving awareness is not, it's not phased by anything that it comes across. It's just literally observing and watching it. This is what it means by true unconditional love. This is what unconditional love really is. It's that it's just a full acceptance. It's a full yes of everything. People say, well, God is cruel. God is not cruel. God is unconditional. God is all accepting. God is all loving. We just have this idea that we don't really know what unconditional love is. Unconditional love means I don't care what you do, I still love you. So that's why, cruel things are allowed, like murder and rape and, essay, that's the same thing. And, genocides and terrorism, like all these cruel things that we say are cruel are just what happens in a dualistic world. It's just the polarizing of good and bad. It has nothing to do with a God that's not just. God is very just, or it would not be allowed. If God was not just, then none of that would have been allowed. But because God is so unconditionally loving, then everything is allowed. And that's what you have to start identifying as. And I'm not saying that you're going to walk around and allow people to treat you any type of way because you're unconditioning, because you have unconditional love. It's just that what you are identifying as and what you are looking out of is going to be way more in alignment with the truth, so that when the limited self has to move and act through the world, you trust that it's going to be acting in alignment with what's best for itself. And because we live in a world with like very fallible, I think it's fallible humans who are prone to mistakes. I'm not saying to walk around without boundaries and to like, just let people walk all over you and do anything. No, but understand that is your nature though. So identify as your nature and allow that to become reflected back to you. And you're going to deal with less faulty humans, less humans who are prone to mistakes. You're going to identify when people say a new earth. You're going to vibrate so high that all you see are humans who are reflecting the same love that you give out. That's all you're going to see. You're going to stop being so in the realm of division where there's, hatred and people are doing so much cruelty, and you're going to vibrate out of that while still existing in it, right? You're in the world, but you're not of the world, right? I hope I'm saying that right. Okay. So, and also you have your desire on the pedestal. That was very long-winded. I really try not to have these videos be super long. I'm so sorry. But your desire is on the pedestal. So when your desire is on the pedestal, you think that it's something that's out of reach. And that's caused you to stay out of the state. Because if you are in the state of being unworthy and you feel like your desire requires you to become so worthy and to become this grand person, then you are essentially putting it on a pedestal, and you're not allowing yourself to see that all you have to do is just accept that your desire is you. That's it. That's all. Accept that your desire is you. Accept that when you ask, it is given, and that's it. Stop making it this grand thing. It's literally not. I like in A Course in Miracles, it states that, all miracles are the same. Like there's no miracle that's too big or too small. Oh yeah, there is no order of difficulty in miracles. One is not harder or bigger than another. They are all the same. So it's the same thing with your desires and your manifestations. Like you may feel like it's easy to manifest, a car spot or a cup of coffee. I'm just saying it because those are the most like talked about in the community. But you may feel like it's easy to manifest those, but it's not easy to manifest, $100,000 month, or it's not easy to manifest getting that person that you've always wanted to date, but there's always been like some friction. Because you have it on a pedestal as something that's out of reach, when you don't understand that you are everything. So all you have to do is just align yourself with that desire by becoming in a state of having it. That's it. You just go into the state of I already have it. And then have faith that this universe that creates worlds is going to bring, like this universe that creates worlds, that makes our hair grow, that makes our heart beats, that you get a cut and it starts to heal itself. Like that the leaves, all of nature is moving on this universal force, and you feel like this universal force isn't capable to give you little measly you. And I don't mean little measly you, because you are amazing and magnificent, but you don't think that this universal energy can give you your desire when it does all of this, when it creates every single second, when we are constantly shifting through multiverses all the time. You don't think that has the ability to bring you your desire? How little do you think of God? How little do you think? Seriously, like, so you have to take it off a pedestal. You are everything. You can. All you have to do is just accept. And like Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount, he says the lilies do not get concerned about how it's going to be clothed. So take no thought of tomorrow, for tomorrow will take care of itself. Take your desire off the pedestal and you will be able to maintain the state, because it is, all you have to do is just accept that it's yours. And don't think that it's too out of reach. Don't think that the state is too much for you. And I like how Neville equates the state to putting on, a fresh pair of shoes. He says, if the state of affluence is new, you think everyone knows it, but no one knows or cares whether you are rich or poor. So walk in the state until it becomes natural. That's how you are going to stay in the state, is that it has to become natural for you. And again, I said the shoes because I know Neville, he gave a lecture one time where he talked about, when you put on the fresh pair of shoes, you think everybody notices, but really nobody cares. And it's the same when you put on a new state. You think everybody notices, or if you put on some new clothes, everybody knows it's new. Everybody knows you're trying too hard. Nobody knows, nobody cares. Nobody thinks about you as much as you think about yourself. So nobody cares, nobody knows. You have to just keep walking into it until it becomes natural. I remember when I first became a gym girl, right? I became a gym bro, gym sis, and I had bought some Converse because everybody wear the Converse because they flat shoes when you lifting, you squatting, you doing deadlifts, and I love deadlifts and squatting. Anyways, so when I bought the Converse, they was all white because I was trying to be trendy, be a part of the crew. And I noticed everybody else, they Converse was dirty. So I'm like, everybody go know that these are new. Everybody go look at me and know that I don't know what I'm doing and that I'm trying to fit in. So it wasn't about my form. It wasn't about the fact that I couldn't lift that heavy. It was about the fact I felt like everybody was going to know that I was new because of my shoes. And it wasn't until my shoes got a little scuffed up and a little dirty that I was like, now these feel natural to me. Now I feel like I'm really a part of the gym crew. And it's something as simple as that, but it relates to when we put on this new state of being. We feel like people are going to know. People are going to know I'm not as confident as I'm trying to put out. They're not going to know because you're going to maintain the state. The only way they're going to know is that if you keep going in and out of the state. Because you don't actually have faith that if you stay there long enough that things are going to change for you, or you don't feel safe enough in that new state so that you keep reverting back. And it could be one of the two, but I would say mostly it's like you probably don't feel safe. So go back and watch my video if you haven't, or if you watched it, go rewatch it so that you can feel safe enough to maintain the state so that your reality can start to reflect this truth back to you. So yes, you know that as soon as the state becomes natural and it feels like you belong there, that's when things are going to shift really, really quickly. But in the beginning, you are going to be oscillating back and forth, because it's going to feel like you got on that tight new pair of shoes and everybody knows, and it doesn't feel safe, it doesn't feel comfortable. But as soon as it feels natural, boom, magic. And it doesn't take long. All it takes is just you believing and really having faith. And believing has nothing to do with just constantly thinking about it. You have to think from it. You have to think as if you already are it. You have to be in the state and think from the state. Okay, so last but not least, 3 is how to maintain the state. So I've already said pretty much how to maintain the state. I'm just going to be reiterating what I was saying. And how you maintain the state is, 1, by feeling safe in this new reality. And you feel safe by recognizing who you are. You are the awareness. You are consciousness. You are not the limited aspect of your body and your mind. You are so much more than that. So much more. And you know that because your body and your mind is constantly shifting. You are constantly having new thoughts. But what's aware of the fact that you're having new thoughts? What is it that is constantly aware? Day, night, regardless of how you're feeling, emotions come and go, but there's something that's aware of it. Your looks come and go, but there's something that's aware of it. You don't look the same as you did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But what is it that's aware of the fact that you're constantly changing, that things are shifting? That one is consistent. It doesn't change. It doesn't have a form. It doesn't have an age. It doesn't have a name. It's just what is. And it's what's aware of me right now in this video. It's what's hearing. But then the separate self, which is the ego is not bad, but the ego comes up and claims the experience for itself. It says, I am listening, I am aware, right? So when you stop identifying solely, I'm not saying don't identify as the ego at all, because the ego allows us to build and create and to communicate with each other as if we're separate. Because if not, then it's just one consciousness not being able to differentiate itself. That's why I believe consciousness came into a form to experience itself outside of itself. So But when we only identify as the ego, we lose sight of the fact that we are everything. So when we start to identify as everything, we are vibrating at the highest vibration that we can. Reality reflects that back to us. We are in the highest state, which means that we know that we are everything, which means that all we have to do is just think about it and it becomes. That's how God creates. Creation is being born and dying every second. Every second is being born and dying, and based on our perception and our projection that we are placing on the now moment is what we're going to experience in our reality. So just identify as what you actually are. How do you identify? By one, practicing self-inquiry. What is self-inquiry? Constantly asking yourself throughout the day, what am I? Who am I? Because the I comes up and claims the experience. What is this I? And where can I find this I? Because this I says that I am this, I am this. But everybody says that. So what is the truth about this I? And you want to get down to the deepest level of the truth about who I am. What am I? Right? And just keep asking that question. And remember, any thought that comes up, it can't be the truth because you're aware of it. So really I like to say like who is it that's aware? Who is it that's, instead of who am I like to say who is it? Who am I has been like said and taught in non-duality circles forever, but for me it resonates more to say like who is it that's aware? Because I know any answer that comes up, I'm aware of that. So I know it can't be that, because like no. But even something is aware of that answer. So like what is that? And I just keep taking my attention back to what is it that's aware when I'm going throughout my day. And mindfulness is also important, right? I think mindfulness is number one, because it's important to just be mindful of your thoughts, of your feelings, to know what state you are in. And and to be able to shift into the state that you want to be in by just identifying as what you actually are, which is the awareness. But you want to be mindful, like what am I aware of? What am I aware of? Right? Oh, I am aware of this. Okay, now who is it that's aware? That's the next step. What am I aware of, and who is it that's aware? And when you go into that who is it that's aware, you just start to expand into the everythingness that you already are. It's just literally just by shifting that identification. Just shifting identification from only being a small self to being the larger part of everything. And the more that you identify as that, the more reality will reflect that truth back to you, because you're not just identifying with your conditionings. Because you cannot fight against your conditionings. The best you can do is just observe them and allow them to go away on their own. To love them away. And you love them away by just observing them. And as you observe them, you know that they're not scary. They're not here to get you. They were really just here to keep you safe, because these were the constructs that you built around, and how your family gained safety, or how society gained safety in order to remain alive. But you realize that you're not afraid of life or death, because you're not the limited body and the mind. You are everything. So you don't need your conditioning in order to stay safe and stay alive. You just go beyond your conditioning and you rest as what you actually are, and then that gets reflected back to you. And I feel like I've said that a million times. I'm gonna keep repeating myself because it's the truth. I don't need to like change the truth or disguise it, because it's the truth. It's not about constantly thinking of it. It's not about changing your thoughts. It's not about feeling good. It's just about recognizing and identifying as what you actually are, maintaining that state just by simply observing, and reality will reflect that truth back to you. That's how to actually stay in a state of the wish fulfilled. Know thyself. I love you, and that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, so you can get more people to see this information, so we can all groove and know the truth, even though we are all one anyway. So when you see it, everybody else in your world sees it, because there's 8 billion different worlds anyway. Also, make sure you guys are signing up for, I have the group coaching waitlist. I am creating it right now. It's on its way, guys. On its way. So sign up for that waitlist so you can be the first person notified when it goes live. It's going to be a group membership with group coaching, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be more details soon. Sign up for the waitlist so you can get the details as soon as they come. You'll be the first person to receive it. And also, we going 75 hard strong. I got that going on over on my Instagram. If you're interested, I post about it weekly, not every day, but weekly. I'll give updates about how I'm doing, and then you can get access to the file down below. And this is the thing, when you download the file, guys, you have to go to save a copy for yourself, or it's not going to allow you to edit it in the form. So you got to save the copy for yourself, and that's how you'll be able to use the file for yourself. It's a habit tracker. It's amazing. That's all I got. I love you guys, and I'll be seeing you soon. Make sure to comment. Let me know what you like down below, because I do respond to mostly all comments. All right, that's it. Bye.